Zach Noe Towers.
Here we go. Ashley Ray.
Hello.
Hi. We've been dragging Ashley's former roommate, and you could have a whole podcast probably about it.
I think so. Maybe one, I share a new story about my horrible old roommate because there are so many, and then I have people come on and share their roommate. Yeah.
That there's a new Netflix show called Worst Roommate. Yeah,
I did watch it, and it was like, it's okay. Like, these are bad roommates, I guess, mostly because they're murderers. But it's like, I don't know. Maybe they all did their dishes and cleaned the bathroom, so they don't get into that.
Like
side.
right up until the end, they were a great roommate.
Great roommate. And honestly, I don't think in the series none of the roommates get murdered. So.
Oh,
yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but everyone's been telling me to watch it.
Yeah.
And there's like an old lady one.
Yeah, there's an old lady one. Oh, that, you know what? That roommate.
Oh.
That old lady, it turns out she's like one of the old, well, that's like part of the, I don't want to spoil it. That's part of it. You're like, oh, this old lady, she's so innocent. She would be an amazing, roommate.
Yeah. No.
Not so fast. Not so fast.
Yeah. My friend Alex was like, a bunch of holes in the yard or something. Yeah.
Basically she was this old lady. Everybody was like, oh, she's like in her 80s, 90s, and she just takes in boarders, like mentally ill people and homeless people, and she feeds them and gives them a bed, and she's so nice. And then eventually people would just be like, oh, we haven't seen Bert around the neighborhood. Like, oh, where'd Bert go? And she'd be like, he went to Mexico.
He moved on.
Yep. She'd just be like, his family came, picked him up, and took him to Iowa. And they'd just be like, what?
Huh. Okay.
Okay.
But meanwhile, they thought she was like an angel, like doing God's work.
She was this very old looking woman who would be like nursing kittens and
murdering Bert.
Yeah, and she donated tons of money to good things, and then she just was secretly keeping all these people's social security checks. She had a little station for slicing and dicing the bodies. She had a whole little system.
It was organized.
Yeah, and then you find out her true age, and you're like, oh my goodness.
That's probably the woman in her who is very good at we need more female serial killers.
Yeah, honestly.
Step up to the plate.
I bet there are more female serial killers.
They just haven't been caught.
They haven't been caught because we're smarter and, discrimination. People don't look for women. Yet another field where women are overlooked.
Wow, making 75 cents to the dollar of every male serial killer.
I feel like everyone knows that one grandma who's she's had 8 husbands and they all weirdly died.
Something's up with Grandma Jean.
That's a serial killer.
Wait, okay, so did you review a lot of content?
A lot of shows.
Yeah. Is that one of them?
No, that one I just did for fun. I mean, I guess for my podcast TV, I say with Ashley Ray.
Oh yeah, wait, plug away.
Yes.
Ashley, I know Ashley as a fantastic stand-up comedian. Yes, but you're also a writer.
From our wonderful HBO Max 2021 queer comedian series, we were selected. The two of us.
We were 2 out of 4 or 5.
5. Allie.
Nori
5. Yeah.
Yep.
Meg,
yeah. Find it if you can
on
HBO.
Instagram. It is on the HBO Max Instagram.
Human by orientation.
Yes, human by orientation Instagram.
Yeah. Hey,
but
it might pop off any day now.
Hey, maybe this year they're gonna be like, oh, we got the queer videos from last year. Just throw them up for Pride.
We don't know what we signed. It's like a 5-year contract. But you also review, and critique.
So for that podcast, I talk about everything on TV. I watch everything, and then I write reviews for Vulture. I used to do the AV Club. I write about Insecure. 90 Day Fiance that's
your jam.
Yeah,
90 Day Fiance, is that the one currently with? Aren't there main couples every season? So there's one a guy who got a girl a toothbrush.
Oh yeah,
Gino.
This is this season.
Oh okay.
You'd actually be surprised how often an American man getting a girl from another country a toothbrush is a plot in that show.
Really?
Yes. That is probably the 4th time it's happened where some guy from New Jersey is I got you a Aura gel toothbrush. This thing costs $150. It's electric. You can plug it into your smartphone. And they're just like,
what?
Why did you get me this? And so this season, yes, it's Gino. I forgot. Jasmine, I think, is the girl.
Yeah.
And he got her this expensive toothbrush, gave it to her the first day he was there. And then Christmas happened.
And he's like, well, I got you the
and
toothbrush.
he's like, I got you the toothbrush.
She's like, what? The woman is floored.
She's just like, are you kidding? Like, she got him so many
bunch
gifts,
of things.
like special stuff.
But her thing was like also like airport gifts. It was like, I'm with stupid.
Yeah, he was
you
like,
know?
oh, I want to do cute. So it's not even like he had to try that hard.
No.
He could have just gotten tchotchkes.
Yes.
But then they get into this big fight. She gets mad at him. What's the first thing she does?
Throws the toothbrush.
She throws the toothbrush. She like throws it, you know, and then they get back together and reconcile. And the first thing he does is go, can we go get that toothbrush? It was really expensive, and I don't want to leave it here. And he like makes her go like she has to dig it out, because she like threw it in their backyard at this like resort, and it was just like in some sand and trees, and she goes and tries to get this toothbrush.
Well, beyond that, I just saw a clip of this. She took one of his t-shirts.
Oh yeah.
And then he's like to remember him by in case they didn't work out, and then he took one of her toenails.
Yeah. He was like, I thought that's all I'd have.
I'm out.
Which honestly, also not the first time this has happened.
A toenail?
Toenail, hair, like there was this Paul and Carini, like anytime Paul would go down to Brazil to visit his like lover, he would take his mom's hair with him. When he went to go see Carini, he would take her hair and toenails to like keep them safe, and then he'd go back to America with it. Like that, I don't know why it's very common. Like,
oh my God.
You watch that show and you realize there's like this whole other part of the country that they're just like doing a very different thing from like there, and they all just act like it's normal. Like even his mom was like, I taught Paul, you know, you take the hair with you. I gave him some hair around his neck, and it's like,
stop.
I'm so serious. Stop. And in this one, he's literally like, I thought we were done, and I took her toenails because it was all I'd have left of her. Yeah.
That is like building an altar, sacrificing a human. That's crawl space behavior. That's someone
weird.
with a secret.
Yeah, that's like you're gonna do something with a candle, and you're gonna like do something weird. I mean, I've done weird candle sex stuff, but
really,
yeah.
Wait, candle sex stuff?
I mean, not like sex stuff with a candle,
okay,
but like candle magic,
okay,
with sex stuff.
Okay,
like,
okay, like
because that's like a thing,
manifesting type things. Okay,
like that's
spells.
like that's a thing that like. I don't know, like weirdos who were into that type of stuff believe like you can charge a candle if you like use it during sex. Or I would, if you were to take someone's, say, cum.
Okay,
cum candles.
Okay, cum candles.
Cum candles.
Wait.
That's how I'll put it.
Can you make, no,
so you get a candle
and you get some cum.
Preferably from someone whose power
the semen of a righteous man.
Yeah, of a righteous man, consensually.
Sure.
But whatever vibe you're going for, get that semen, put it on the candle, and then whatever other oils and anointings you want, and that's gonna give you like an extra kick with your prayer.
Wow.
Because like I got like the angel god, like the god who listens to the candles. When there's cum on it, he's like,
whoa,
they're not fucking around.
He leans in.
Yeah, he's like, they came ready with the seed. They want to plant this. Like,
wow.
Look, I'm just gonna. I had a solid year of cum candles with. I will say someone who was very like spiritually strong. No man is righteous because they all suck. Like none of them are good, but maybe the closest to a okay.
Yeah,
good energy,
sure.
And how you get your cum candle, how you get the cum. In this case, condom, easy.
Oh, okay. I have so many questions. So wait, this was someone that you were having sex with?
Yes.
And you would free their semen from them. And
yes, with an incantation and a spell, I'd free the semen from them.
And then, but they didn't know you were like making cum candles. No, I'm not trying to catch you. That's not consent.
They definitely knew I did candle stuff.
Sure.
But I was never specifically like, hey, I'm using
this
your
candle
cum
is covered
on this
in
candle for a special spell because I need to get a pilot done.
Okay, so I thought the cum candles were to attract that type of man, but you already had it.
So this one is like you already have it, and you want like a little extra kick.
Yes.
Yes. But you can also do it if you want to attract like a certain lover or something. You can get like a candle that's shaped like a dick or like a vulva. Yeah. And in that case, they'll tell ladies like put your juice on it.
and then the angel god or
And then the angel god's like, lady juice. That person wants something.
that.
It's a different kind of energy. Like that one is like, oh.
Wait, I love it. Okay, so this to me is very crystal adjacent.
Yeah. Oh,
where-
yeah. Crystals are involved.
Yeah, but it's like for me,
You're not just gonna get the cum out of the trash can and then put it on your candle. You want to cleanse it and charge it by crystals, preferably under a full moon.
yes,
Yeah.
bury it in the yard, get earth, moon, sun. But it's very much for me like setting an intention, and
Yeah.
like this eggplant is bringing me a chody man or whatever.
Yes.
And like I like rub it every day.
And then it's like it comes.
yes,
Like,
yes, it manifests.
It
yeah.
manifests.
Cum candles.
Cum candles.
That's probably the name of the episode. Just let you know.
It should be.
Cum candles with
I
Ashley.
think they work.
Okay, wait. So going back, I try to do it in chronological order. But before that, how do you define sex? Like if you said you were to have sex with someone, what are the parameters?
That's actually interesting because as people probably maybe know, I'm polyamorous and bisexual. So
Human by orientation,
yes,
sure knew.
They knew. Yeah, bi poly. And so I date people kind of across the spectrum. So that definition can kind of shift for me. But I think for me, if you're trying to do something that makes both people come.
Okay.
For me, it's like, we're here to pleasure each other. That's sex.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. So like cum adjacent behavior.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe everybody doesn't come, but it's like,
Sure,
we're here to
pleasure.
pleasure.
Yeah.
We're here to have a good time.
Okay.
We're not here to watch a movie. We're here to,
You're here to start the movie and then
good time.
cum candle.
Cum candles.
Come on a candle.
I do feel like if you had them come right on the candle, it would probably be even more powerful.
Like on the side of it.
Yeah.
And like I did have more questions. You like coat it and then it dries onto it?
Yeah, you want to coat. You can also like add herbs, oils, anything.
Rosemary.
Yeah, like rosemary is good for power, money, and forgiveness.
Stop.
So anything like that to add into the power of it,
I feel like
spices.
could I like bread chicken nuggets in cum and rosemary and like
yeah,
air fry it?
There was a lady who just went to jail for that. She like put cum in some cookies.
Yes, and like fed them to children.
To children.
I think. Okay.
Yeah, it was very bad. It's a horrible story.
How do you even? How did she? Do you know how she got caught?
They filmed it because they were weirdo sex perverts.
Oh
It was
my
like
god!
her and her husband were weirdo sex perverts who like did horrible things, and then he just like jacked off into like she makes the cookie dough and he jacks off in it and is like, oh yeah, girl, they're gonna eat it.
Oh
And
no!
that's like what? That's how they got, because the cops were just like, you
literally you showed us.
We saw it. And then the cops seeing that video, they reached out and were like, yo, did they bring cookies to the school this day? And the school was like, they did.
That should be child molestation.
It is.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah, they're both facing like 200 counts of like child molestation
and endangerment, like
endangerment. There's actually a law, I guess, wherever they're from, that's like the misuse
No
of
cum cookies.
No cum cookies. It's like the misuse of a bodily fluid to harm others.
like freezing your pee in a popsicle shape and,
then just
throwing it.
Yeah, they had that on the books, which what has been happening.
Kudos to them. They've all their bases covered.
Yeah, and they were like, actually, we do have this in the books.
I want to know what case set that precedent.
Right.
Okay, beautiful. Do you remember the first thing that like made you horny, or the first thing that kind of made your coochie tingle?
I do, and it's so weird because it's the Daily Show with Jon Stewart.
Stop.
And specifically like Jon Stewart. Like there was something about da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, and then like the voice and Jon Stewart just like coming, like that would just literally, I would be like,
Yeah.
it's nighttime. My mom went upstairs. It's me and John, and. Yeah,
He's a sexy man.
there was I like read his book that like came out way back then, Naked Pictures of Famous People, and
Is that what his book was called?
yeah, and there was a hot picture of him when he went to William and Mary and played soccer.
Oh.
And he like looks really young, and it was like that picture for me, like him in this soccer thing with like the like fro.
Long way. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And I was like, oh my god, he's like,
Do you still have a crush on him?
No. No, I wanted to when his like new show came back, and then he's just said some things that it's like,
oh really?
John,
Is he on the wrong side of politics, or just like
it's like, you know how like white guys get older and they're just not as in touch, and like he defended Joe Rogan and was like, you know, Joe Rogan's a hero, like we should blah blah, blah. And it's like, dude, you don't know any, like I'm okay.
You're like, why are you why of all things to like stand up for, why you're choosing
it's like,
this
just
one?
go be rich or whatever.
Yes.
Go produce a bunch of shows. Go make some movies. Like, just give a female director a bunch of money and sit back. Like, you don't, you know.
I can't wait to just go and be rich.
Yeah.
And be like, do what you will.
Do what you will. I like just that Jerry Seinfeld rich, like
I'll take half of Jerry Seinfeld, you know, yeah, truly. That's so funny. Do you remember when you discovered your body, or like maybe your first orgasm? Or
I do. So soon after, like, Jon Stewart, and that was like I was in 6th grade.
Okay.
He had a guest on the show, the wonderful Jennifer Beals.
Okay.
From the L Word.
Yeah.
Flashdance fame.
Yes. Yes.
She was there to promote the first season of the L Word, and the two of them on screen together, like something happened for me. Like there was a click in my head, and they showed a clip from the L Word on the show, and it was like a clip where a character was like talking about using a vibrating toothbrush as a vibrator, but I didn't it didn't fully click to me.
Yeah.
But I was like, I have a thing that vibrates, a Nokia cell phone.
Stop.
So I literally, like, I was like, my mom was, and I was like, watch it, and I was like, let me just see what would happen here. And I got it to, you know, you could test the ringtones.
Yeah,
I was just like going up and down the thing to keep it vibrating.
Oh my god.
Just up and down the menu, and then I like realized, I was like, oh, this is something. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
That's so funny. Did you have an orgasm, or do you just kind of like got like the tingles?
I didn't. I kind of just got the tingles, and then I watched the L Word, and like then I was like, oh, I'm into this. Like the ladies having sex, and there's like another part where someone said something about a shower head, and I was like,
I have one of those.
yeah, I was like, well, wait a second. And then that's like when I was like, okay.
The shower related thing I've heard from a few girls on the pod is the water from the tub faucet pouring and like sitting with their legs against the wall.
To be specific, it was that, not like a removable shower.
Yeah. Just
which
water
like literally just a tub like where I grew up, like playing with little duckies. And my mom being like, you want to take a bath at 13? And I'm like, yeah, duh.
2 in a day?
Like, please. And yeah.
First of all, the thing that's awakening, I think, bisexuality, well, I'm calling it now, Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz in the same. I mean, it's a lot. I'm not even a Robert Pattinson. Have you seen it yet, the Batman?
I haven't seen the Batman, but I am a Robert Pattinson fan.
You are? You see, I don't.
I mean, I couldn't say for any specific role. I don't think I've actually seen him in anything. But as a person,
he passes the vibe check.
Yeah, there's just something about him that I'm always like, he just seems chill.
Okay,
he can make fun of himself.
Sure,
you know,
and he's like talented, obviously.
Yeah,
I was,
and not in an annoying way, not in a like. When I took on the role of the Batman, I like, you know, pretended to be a bat for 10 years, and it's like, shut up. He's just kind of like, yeah, they pay me to do it. It's fun.
It said yes. Yeah. I was gonna say, I didn't think I was physically attracted to him, and then I saw him as the Batman, and I was like, maybe there's something here.
Yeah,
he's got Hot Topic vibes.
He does have Hot Topic vibes, but I like that.
Yeah,
like, I like a skinny pale Kurt Cobain vibe.
Yes,
Gaunt.
Yeah,
just
Tim Burton.
Like, I'm into that.
Yes,
so, just.
So wait, that's your first. So you've known that you are. You said pansexual.
I go by bisexual.
Okay.
Just. I think it's like a queer generational thing where for me, like, bisexual is very much a part of a time that I came about when it's like, I say I'm a bisexual, that means I like Ani DeFranco.
Yeah.
And that is important to me. But I know with like the shifting of terms and names, I go by the definition of bisexual. That's like, I'm attracted to people who are like myself and not like myself.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. That's the definition of bisexual.
Like in terms of duo attraction, it's like the Or I also like to say when I'm bisexual, that means I am attracted to people who are my clone and who are not my clone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I would fuck my clone is my point.
Would you?
Absolutely.
If I saw me on the street, I'd be like, yuck.
I would be like, girl, let's go hang at last. Oh my God, girly. I'd just be like, finally, someone who gets it, who can hang. Let's go.
That's
like,
so wait, but you've known since you were 13 that
yeah. I would say like since I was 12, sixth grade, I always knew I was kind of different. Like even kind of before that, like I would kiss my size Barbie. Like
my size Barbie, what a trip.
Oh yeah. Like
She's like 3 feet tall, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I guess I probably was only a little taller, but I very much remember like having a sleepover with friends, and you know, like kids dare each other to do some dumb stuff like, oh, kiss the doll, kiss this.
Sleepovers.
Yeah. And they like dared me to kiss my size Barbie, and I was like, okay. And then I did. And then I was like, you really want to see something? And then I pulled its pants down and kissed its little like doll vagina. And was just like, yeah.
I fucking went down on my doll.
Yeah. And I was just like, yeah. And they were like, Ashley, and like they'd be like, she's weird. And my mom would just be like, she's funny. She's being funny.
It's a doll.
Yeah, it's a doll. And I was like, I'm gay. My mom, she like wasn't, and she tried to send me to like conversion therapy when I was really young.
Stop, really?
We were very poor, so it wasn't like the good stuff.
Sure.
She couldn't ship me out to Indiana for like the quality.
Stop.
Camps.
The top tier.
Yeah, top tier
trauma inducing.
Yeah. So it was more just like we were very dedicated to this church we went to, Missionary Baptist, and I would go an hour before service on Sundays and meet with the pastor's wife.
And speak like one-on-one about
how great it was to be straight.
Oh, so she went from a positive straight, not a damnation, scary gay hell.
Yeah, it was very like serving a man is like the closest you come to serving God. It is so dope, and I'd just be like, I don't know about that, girl.
Wait, did you really? Did you argue back a little bit?
I would kind of push back because I'm a Sagittarian. She's always been very outspoken.
Yeah, she is.
So I was very just kind of like, I don't like if men and women are equal, then how come I would have to serve a man, and how come God would like do all, and if like even, and she would just kind of be like. Mm-hmm. But, the greatest pleasure as a woman on earth is being a mother. And, like, I love being a mother. And she would just, like how she loved her life and being a mom and all that. And I guess hoping to inspire me to be like, I want to be a pastor's wife someday.
And you're like, I can still be a mother and go down on my Barbie doll.
On my dolls. Like, what are you talking about? And, like, I do remember saying, like, gay people adopt. Like, I can always be a mom and all that. And I just didn't work. Like, I just remember my mom being like, you don't have to do that anymore.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
good.
I think was just because the lady was like, it's not working.
It's
like,
not taking.
It's not taking. She just comes in, she sits here, and like,
we argue.
Yeah, we argue a bit. She talks about her day. And then she just like quotes things from the L word at me, and I tell her it's a sin. That is very true. I would literally just like, because if you've seen, I assume,
the original L word. I haven't seen the reboot.
You don't need to.
I know.
I love the amazing crew on it.
Okay. Ooh, she's been briefed by a PR person. I love that we have shows with representation
and people like me, and I love that. And the cast, amazing. But the original, it was very like didactic and like, this is how you talk about this. And it just like was like glad talking points.
Sure.
And so I was in like 7th grade watching this, just being like, as Bet said at the art gallery, people aren't ready for strong queers. I was like 13 saying stuff like this.
I love it. Like, it's your scripture.
Yeah. Like, I was just like,
episode 4, scene 2.
Literally, I was like, okay, my favorite was this line that Jenny has, and I believe season 2 maybe, where she's like breaking up with her boyfriend or whatever, and she's like, it is not a woman's job to be chewed up and spat out so that a man can evolve.
Wow.
And I wrote it on my journals in Sharpie. I was like, Jenny Schechter.
That's a good quote.
I mean, it's so good. Like,
you should. My show like that was Queer as Folk. Ooh. Which I like watched like too young, but like also in silence in the dark. Like,
Yeah,
stuff
like,
was happening.
Oh my mom's coming. Like,
yeah,
oh no, change
flip the channel. Yeah.
I did Queer as Folk after, and I think obviously I was a little biased because I was like,
Sure. Oh, I'm sure. I'd be terrified to rewatch Queer as Folk now. I don't think it would pass.
No, they're doing a remake of that too.
I know. They're
with Kim
shooting in New
Cattrall.
Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans. I think it'll be good. It's gonna be.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, like that story I could see being updated because
Yeah. Oh, hold on one second.
Hey.
Sorry.
The plumber,
Yeah.
can I come in?
Yeah. Come in.
I always forget I actually do like this water.
I mean, you know what's so funny? To me, liquid death.
Where are you?
Sorry.
What is the guy?
Oh, he's not here. He
You
left.
look at the plumber?
He left a while ago. He left like 45 minutes ago.
Okay, let me call him.
Do you
I
know
think
Maya next door?
Okay, let me find him.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yesterday my toilet like overflowed like
Ooh.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And so now emergency plumbing has like, and it's supposed to be 9 to noon. And I was like, oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Because Ash is coming at noon.
That happened when I just moved into my place. The person who moved out like stuffed it full of toilet paper and stuff and like paper towel.
Intentionally?
Yeah. Like I guess they had to move out under bad terms because the building got sold or something. And so they were like, screw this. And they like flushed a bunch of stuff. And then the guy had to come and like, he was just like, yeah, somebody stuffed a bunch of wet wipes and stuff.
People are
down
a
here.
nightmare.
Yeah.
Okay, we were talking about queer. We were talking about
Yes.
queers, lesbians.
Queer as lesbians.
That whole word. That's
Only
it.
they were brave enough to make that show. But you know, yeah.
Are you writing a show for us?
I feel like I'm working on so many. Yeah.
I know. I didn't mean to put that on you. Like it's your job.
I just finished writing on Alabama Jackson on Adult Swim.
Yes.
Which was a lot of fun. It's a stop motion show that is about this guy who time travels with Harriet Tubman to save moments in Black history from an evil gang that is trying to erase them.
Cool.
Yeah. And it stars Wanda Sykes and Donald Faison.
Oh my
and
God.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's super funny. You can watch it on YouTube, so do that.
You said Adult Swim?
Yeah.
I fucking love Adult Swim.
They are doing so much cool stuff right now, and when I heard that's like who the show is for, I was like,
Hell yeah.
oh my gosh, yeah.
Because they really don't put many boundaries on.
No boundaries.
Yeah.
Like, it was like an entirely like Black room, and constantly we were like, they're gonna come back and be like, you guys can't do
say
this. You
Yeah.
can't say this. You can't. This is too much. And they were just kind of like, they would come back with some dumb stuff. They like at one point they were like, are we sure that most Adult Swim viewers know who Harriet Tubman is?
Stop.
They literally were like, we don't know if she's like known enough. And it was like, okay, stuff like that.
Is Harriet Tubman posting on Instagram? We need to get her trending.
How many followers does she have? Like, is she big on Twitter? And we would push against stuff like that, but most of they would just be like, "Yeah, if that's the story you want to do, like, do it." So there was so much just freedom, and it was so fun.
I love.
And now I'm working on. I did an hour. I'm working on my special, and then I'm like, I did this project in 2017 called "Dating the Zodiac."
Okay.
Where I dated every zodiac sign a month at a time for a year.
Oh my God.
And then I wrote about it.
Did they know?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course. It was all above board, consensual.
Great.
Unlike my CUM candles, I did lay out everything that was going to happen ahead of time.
This is where your cum will be.
Yeah,
ending its life.
Beginning, and I would just like go on apps and be like, my profile would just say, like, I'm a comedian. Tell me your favorite number, your favorite color, and your sign, and I'll write a joke for you. And then people would just message me and be like, oh, 4, blue, I'm a Sagittarius. And I'd be like, okay, so I'm dating Sagittarians in 4 months. If I can like put you in my calendar, here's this thing I'm doing. If you're cool with it, let's do it. And most people were down.
Wow.
There were only a few people who were like, no, like I have no interest in this.
Fuck.
Yeah, I'm here. Fucking wasn't off the table.
Oh, cool.
So yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, fucking was on the table.
Wait, now I feel bad that I've missed this project. But in what form is it? Like, can you see it somewhere?
I had it online. Now it is all down because my managers were like,
We're gonna reshape this or whatever.
it's I turned it into a pilot that
Okay.
I'm working on now in a book, and
Okay.
so that is like being shopped. And so I had to
Cool.
take everything down, but I talked about it on Why Won't You Date Me?
Uh-huh. That was a cool
And,
bar.
yeah, so like you can hear me talk about it.
Okay.
like, and the experience. But
That's a fun ass concept or project.
Yeah, it was crazy, and it was like 2017 into 2018. Very like, weird time in the country.
Yeah.
Like we were all trying, what's
It was
happening? Trumpy. It was early Trump. We had, we were all confused, and I think I just needed something to like center me.
Sure.
But I also knew that like I wasn't ready for a like dedicated relationship or partner.
Yeah.
And it was a way for me to like come up with these rules to be like, okay, this is how I can ensure like I don't end up in a relationship.
Okay, and I think I misunderstood at the very beginning. You didn't date the same person for a month. You
No.
dated only Sagittarius in April or whatever.
Yeah.
God,
And
that's
multiple
cool.
people. And then I kept track of all their natal charts, and I had a spreadsheet. So like I wasn't just looking at sun sign, but I'd be like, okay, this is a Sagittarius with an Aries moon, and this is Sagittarius with a Leo moon. How is it different? And yeah.
Wow.
Probably the most dedicated to science I've ever been.
I had a guy read my birth chart once on a date, and it was interesting.
Yeah, like some people were super into it and believed in it. I dated a few people who were like, I think it's all fucking stupid, but sure, whatever you want to do. Like,
Yeah.
here's my info.
And you're like, that actually
But-
ties in perfect to
Yeah.
your Scorpio
I'd be
ass.
like, and I'd be like, and the Capricorn moon, of course you doubt this. Like, and I don't
Played
know,
right
I
into
guess
it.
like at the end of it, I met two people that I really liked and kept dating. But I had very strict, like when the month was up, we couldn't, like it had to end. Like,
Interesting.
I'm moving on to the next.
Did you go back to get the guys that you wanted after?
Yeah. So then I would say like, hey, when this is done though,
I'd like to.
I'd like to reconnect. And that
This
works
is a
with,
show. This is like a.
You're telling me. You're telling me. But they want to give me my 70th round of notes. So
We could talk about this forever.
Yeah.
I've removed myself from development hell. I'm just making.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it on my own until
it's because like
it's ridiculous.
yeah. So because this is like a project I did in my life. And as I was doing this, like my day job, I worked in advertising. Like
Sure.
I had a shitty advertising job writing ads for shitty companies, and it was just a fun thing to do. Like I could, have a little blog and write funny stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
And when I did the show, I had the same character kind of based on me. Like she had a shitty day job and like was, doing this for fun. And they were like, the development people could not understand. They were like, why would someone in advertising be poor and like need to write for money? Like I was like, because an intro Sally in advertising is not a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because I made $26K like a year.
And you're like, this is where you want to like
lived in a
say
city.
it's like unbelievable. It's like
Yeah. And so they were like, we just feel it's more believable if she was like in grad school and this was a grad school project. And I was like, I don't even know what grad school is, honestly.
it's more debt, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
So I was like, fine, she has to be in grad school because that's the only way someone would, I guess, want to do a project like this and not just mania, which, is what it was.
See, I hate that. I hate when someone takes a brilliant mind like yours and like tries to jam it into all their, preconceived notions about like what it has to be.
Yeah. And at one point, of course, like I'm a comic. So like I was like, oh, and she does comedy and blah, blah, blah. And they were like, no, can't have more shows about comics. That's happened. This was when like Hacks was like in development. So they were very like, no, anything about a comic is not selling because that already happened.
Sure.
And it's like, you have to think about all that stuff when it's like, like the story would just be this.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, fuck them. And if I get money before you, I'll be investing.
Yeah. And if I'm investing in you.
Oh my God. You're doing it right now. Being on the pod. Okay. Do you remember the first sexual experience you had with another person besides your doll?
Yes. Yeah. I guess it's like there's like the cute stuff from when you're like young, like kissing on the playground.
Yeah.
Like I even remember that stuff, kissing my friend Monique's older brother Derek and being like, oh my god,
sick. But you guys are the same school or just same playground?
My mom had a daycare at our house, like
As like a gig?
Yeah, like a child care center in our home. She was a licensed daycare provider, and so the first floor of our house was just a daycare, and the entire outside we had this giant like
Playground?
playground, acres. Like I'm from Illinois, so it was like very like rural.
Where in
like,
Illinois?
Rockford, Northern Illinois. And we had just like this huge backyard with like a sand pit and a giant backyard, and all these kids would be there. And they were my friends because they usually would start at daycare like at 6 weeks old, 6 months, you know?
Wow.
And then they would stay there until they were 12. So I
Oh my God.
I like grew up with the same friends in daycare for most of my childhood.
That's wild.
Yeah. And then like I'd go to school and stuff and just like come home and be like, oh,
Hey.
the daycare kids are here.
Oh my God. That's
Yeah.
very cool. That's probably why you're very social and like good at.
Yeah,
People?
I think it because I mean my whole life it was very like, okay, I have to get ready to go downstairs where there's going to be so many kids and so
lot.
many people, and
Yeah.
it's going to be like a whole performance thing because it was also like the parents come and you have to be like
On,
you know,
yeah.
on, you know, and then I would my escape was like upstairs because the kids couldn't go up there,
Sure.
and so I got very into like. I would help my mom, and then it would be nap time. The kids would go to nap, and I could go upstairs
Yeah.
and like watch TV and do whatever I wanted. And
Yeah.
I would be like, "Oh my God, like personal time, alone time."
yeah.
But it wasn't until college that I realized like I couldn't fall asleep without the sound of babies crying. Like I went to college and I was in my dorm and I was just like, it's too quiet. And I would have like stress nightmares where I thought I heard like because some of my
The kids are dead.
like, or I feel like because the parents would usually start coming at 4 a.m, and sometimes my mom would like oversleep, and I would hear the parents like pounding at the door, and I'd have to be like, "Mom, like you're overslept," you know, and like
kids.
I would like run down and be like, "Yeah, my mom's coming," but obviously these parents would want to leave their kid with like a fucking 13-year-old.
Sure.
I'd be like, "My mom's coming," and she just overslept, and I would have stress dreams where I'd be like, "Oh my God, the babies, like the kids, like
They're at the door.
yeah, they're at the door," and it wasn't like that's when I was like, "Oh, this is." Ingrained.
Your white noise is babies
Babies
crying.
yeah. And like I had favorites. And I would like I'd wake up and I'd be like, "Oh my God, Carrie's here. She's so cute. Okay, I want to go downstairs and play with her." Like
Wait, do you want kids?
I don't know, honestly. I used to be very like, no,
Yeah.
not at all. No kids, never. And now I'm at a place where I'm like, oh, I'd be a really good mom. I know I'd be an amazing
Yes.
mom. I would like
Yes.
love to have children, but the world is bad.
I know.
And that's the only, I'm just like, oh no, I don't want to put kids in this.
to do that to them.
Yeah, like, what-
they're at 13. They're like, you knew it was
You
gonna
knew this
be
was gonna happen,
kind of
and
like
you,
this.
had me. You just had me so I could drown on a melting ice cap. Like, I don't know what
Like it
future.
sounded fun at the time.
Yeah, and it's like, well, we were so optimistic, we had no, yes, the nuclear war was looming, but we weren't
Literally.
taking it seriously.
Honestly, I can't believe we survived nuclear war while Trump was in
Yeah.
the presidency.
It's- yeah.
kind of shocking.
Like, we survived that.
Yeah. Maybe we can get through this.
Yeah, but no, we probably have like another
I
30
know.
or something tops. Like what?
I don't want to be an old person like struggling to get water.
right.
I'll just kill myself.
Yeah. Oh no, that's like the second shit hits the fan, the second the internet doesn't work, I'm like
done.
oh,
I'm like, no.
I'm like, no,
I
you
can't.
guys, I'm out.
Not built
Like,
for this.
Isn't yeah.
Okay, wait. You said you kissed Derek, your friend's older brother.
My
Yeah.
friend's older brother. But then my first like actual intimate moment with someone. Okay, I have like it's like, okay, I'll go.
It was an orgy.
I like because it's like I don't know. I remember like at this age being very kind of split of like losing my girl virginity and my boy virginity.
Okay.
So like I was in 8th grade and I was dating this boy Jake who was like also in stupid middle school relationships, but like people in my class were having sex and
Really? In 8th grade?
In 8th grade, and like I went to a really small weird private school, but I wasn't. But like this kid like really liked me. We'd gone out for a while. And he talked to his dad about how he was ready for the next step and like what he should do and all. And he talked to me about it too. He like wrote me a letter that was like, I think we should like lose our virginities to each other and all of this. And I
I kind of like him.
yeah, we're the same age. Like it wasn't, and I remember being like, talking to my friends and being like, Jake from journalism camp like wants to take my virginity and blah, blah, blah. And they were all kind of like, oh, they were kind of already doing stuff. So
Like, yeah, right,
they were like,
sure.
okay. And he was like,
But
so
you went to Euphoria Middle School.
honestly, yeah, I watched Euphoria and I'm like, not impressed. Like, not
These prudes.
Yeah, like, okay, like, yeah, I was fully on Percocet in 7th grade. Like, okay. And I remember he like invited me over. His parents were divorced. He invited me to his dad's like sad bachelor party apartment.
Sure.
And his dad like had made us a special dinner of shrimp
losing-
Alfredo. I still remember it. Which I was like,
what a pre-sex food.
shrimp Alfredo.
I'm like,
Like I was like, he was doing everything I think to keep us from fucking. Like I just like, and I remember he lit candles and his dad left and we sat and like ate our shrimp Alfredo. He had sparkly like Martinelli.
oh my God.
And I was like, okay. And we ate. And then he was like, so you want to like go to my room? I wanted to show you this like mix CD I made special for you.
Oh,
And
mix
we went into his room and he had made a mix CD that was like 70% just the Virgin Suicide soundtrack.
Oh my God.
It was basically just the Virgin Suicide soundtrack with like I think there was like
Mariah Carey or
who are the people who wear the mask?
the Jabberwockies.
And they do like electronic.
Oh.
Daft Punk.
Yeah.
It was just like Daft Punk in the Virgin Suicide soundtrack. And I remember in 8th grade even being like, this is a little heavy handed. Like this is like
This is a little
okay.
much.
Like I get it. Like Virgin, okay, I get it. And,
Harder, better,
yeah.
faster, stronger.
and then it happened, and it was not spectacular.
Okay,
It was
okay.
very just kind of like, okay. We did
Really?
that.
So not painful, not pleasurable.
It did. I mean, it hurt and felt weird to me, but I
Sure.
kind of knew that was going to happen
Yeah.
because, I talked to other people who'd done it.
Of
My mom
course.
gave me that American Girl book that explains everything. So I knew it was going to I was going to bleed a little. I was prepared for that, but I wouldn't say I was like excited. Like I didn't have that like feeling. To me, it was more just like here's a nice, easy way for me to like do this thing other people are doing
Yes.
with a person I trust.
Yes.
In a way that like I'm kind of calling the shots.
Brilliant.
So it was more like that. For
Yeah.
me. And
Great.
yeah.
That's very good. I've heard some horrible stories.
Yeah. So to me, it was like, shrimp Alfredo and your dad in the next room, not the worst. Nice music. I love the Virgin Suicides.
You're like, can we watch this
Yeah.
actually?
And
did you guys have more sex?
we only did it that one time actually,
Wow.
because pretty soon after I was like, I think I just want to date girls.
Nice.
Yeah.
He really did God's work. He led you to
I
women.
was like, this was,
Wait, had you like sucked a penis before this?
no. And I didn't suck a penis then.
Oh.
There was no penis sucking involved. Please, I was not that advanced. We were there to lose our virginities. No penis sucking was on the table. Okay, this was not an age where we were considering like, foreplay to lead up to
That
things.
is so funny.
I just remember like the most awkward making out, hard hand on the boob,
Yeah.
like, okay, but no. Which, now that I think back, it's like, I probably maybe would have enjoyed it if we had both been like, right, foreplay.
Yeah, like let
No, I
him
like
do
did
it.
not suck a dick until high school. Like, yeah.
That's so funny.
It was very like, your letter did not, discuss this dick sucking, so that's not what we're here to do.
I'd love to put my penis in your mouth.
And yeah.
That was 8th grade. Okay. So then you switched to women.
Yeah, so then I started dating women, and I like had like kind of a girlfriend before that guy. This like girl who like we were in Girl Scouts, and I would just be like, she sleeps over, Mom, and then we would just kind of like cuddle,
Sure,
and, like,
nuzzle,
kiss.
and
yeah,
yeah.
and it was like very clearly like we liked each other, and we'd go on dates and go to the movies and stuff. But I don't like, when you're that age, what is anything? And
Sure.
I broke up with her because I was like, I want to explore this thing with a guy. She's always exploring,
Jumping back and
and
forth.
that was the guy I lost the virginity. And so I was like, I just want to explore this. And so I broke up with her, and she got mad. And so like I'm not joking when I say like in middle school I very much was like on drugs. Went to a like rich kid private school where it was like 8th and 9th graders did coke and stuff.
Wow.
And so in 7th grade I had a pretty bad Percocet addiction and like sold pills and drugs and weed and stuff. By 8th grade I was like,
Kingpin. Yeah. I was
kind of like ashtray.
well off. Yeah.
I was doing really well. Like I at least had a reputation. And so a lot of people at my school like, knew. And when I broke up with her, she like snuck a bunch of stuff into my book bag, pills and stuff that I like had in another bag. And she called my school and told them what I was doing. And she like tried to rat me out and was like, go search her locker, search her bag. She has drugs on her now. And they did. And they searched all my shit and they didn't find anything. And that's because that morning I was like, I just like randomly had this like feeling of like, oh, why is this like Altoid tin in my bag? And I just like threw it out onto my bed.
And it had the drugs in it?
Yeah. She had like snuck it, and I just was kind of like, what is this? And I just like happened to throw it while I was like looking for Latin homework. And I was just like, okay, let's go. And they didn't find anything, but I knew. I was like, this was, and she was like, yeah, because you fucking dumped me and I was angry and I wanted you to get in trouble. And
some Gossip Girl
right
shit.
And I was just like, you're crazy.
Wow.
I never spoke to, I was like, we're never going to speak again. And she was like, I'm so sorry. I just like was angry and I was upset and missed you. And I just wanted you to suffer like me. And I was like, I would have gotten arrested. If I hadn't just been like, what is this doing here? And I just took it and like, yeah. And another way I knew it was her is because she was like texting me that afternoon, like, everything good? And I was like, yeah. It's like, I don't know. My school just did a random like drug check in the lockers, but I was fine.
Wow.
And yeah.
What a twat.
Basically, she was a huge twat. And so then I was glad I broke up with her to go date a guy. And then, I broke up with him to go date a girl again. But we never did anything serious. And by this, like when I was 14, I was thoroughly educated in the L word at this point.
Yeah.
Like I knew, what ladies did. I understood suddenly. And I was like, well, I want to try it.
Yeah.
And when I was 14, I started dating like this girl, Susan. And that was I'm just saying all of their names. I feel like I've just been like Maria and Jake. And I'm just saying all of them.
Well, you even said like legal, like full names. So
yeah,
that's probably
there's so
okay.
many Susans, and actually she's dead now.
Is she really?
Oh my it's actually bad. So I was 14 and the trope of the predatory older lesbian exists for a reason. It is true. She was 22.
Wow.
But like we all, like I said, I went to this weird school where 6th through 12th graders were all in the same building. So like I in 8th grade and 9th grade had friends who were like 18, 19. It wasn't that
crazy.
Odd.
Yeah.
And so she like hung out with all of them, and that's how I knew her. And it was very much
Did she
like,
at least go to the school at one point or no? She was just there.
She was just saying. When you put it that way, it's like she was just hanging out with a bunch of, from another.
No, not an older sibling.
Okay, Rockford is a small. If you've ever seen the documentary Minding the Gap, it's a very depressing place.
Fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Check it out.
And so. She was always at parties. We would talk and hang out. Like, I thought she was cute and stuff. And like, I was very clearly like a baby gay. Like, I started the Gay Straight Alliance at my school.
Same.
I would try to sneak into the office, this one gay club where we lived. Like, and so she knew I was like a little baby gay. And we started like talked one night. She was like, have you ever like done anything? Have you had a girlfriend? I was like, one horrible experience. And she was like, well, we should,
knock boots.
We should do it. Let's go. And she was like, come, you want to hang out with me? And I was like, yeah.
Wow.
Which, actually, all my kind of virginity stories are so weird.
No, the one I love the fettuccine Alfredo or the shrimp Alfredo.
Yeah,
that's a very funny story.
I love that one.
Do you looking back? Okay,
but then we had sex, and then a week later she died of a overdose.
Wow,
the first woman I sleep with died of an overdose a week later, and I was like,
God.
And then I was like, maybe being gay does kill you.
Stop.
Maybe being gay does kill. No, it was the drugs. It was drugs. She OD'd on drugs.
Looking back, like I'm sure you've had people be like, you were raped by her. Like, is that like where?
Yeah,
what,
it's like
how do you
honestly
feel
a
about it
story
now?
I don't really tell anymore. And also, like, I don't know. People are always like, she took advantage, predatory, blah. And I'm like, first of all, she's dead. So it's like, it's like, who are you
What
gonna
are we
call
gonna
out
do?
here? Like, do you think she was making the best choices? Like,
That is
and I don't know. It's hard to explain the dynamic of my weird high school where it was like 7th graders dating seniors.
sure.
And
And it was like it wasn't yesterday.
none of that is it wasn't yet none of that is cool,
Right.
but it was also like me very much knowing who I was and what
Yeah.
I wanted to explore.
Totally.
Like, because after I did lose my virginity to Jake, like I didn't sleep with another guy. Like the first girl I slept with died, so I didn't sleep with anyone for a while. I was like very kind of terrified. And
Did you did you have feelings for her?
I don't think I ever really even let myself answer that question. Because it was also like she died a month later, my dad died.
Oh my God.
3 months from that, my grandpa died. And then my like best friend cousin died. So I was just dealing with a lot of death.
Oh my.
And I couldn't really like fathom like, oh, this was someone I cared about. I think
Sure.
for me, I had to like separate
Yeah.
it as that was an experience and a thing I wanted to experiment with and try.
And
I did. And okay. And then I kind of just did not date or do anything.
Sure.
Got to high school. I guess now this was like my junior year. And I was like, well, I felt like a virgin again because I was like, I haven't done anything. I
Sure.
slept with one guy. And that barely, come on.
Yeah,
Barely
we're
counted.
barely counting it.
You know, and by now I was like, now I know foreplay and stuff because I learned it from,
Yeah.
And so then I was 16 and I was like, well, I want to have sex and like do it with someone like who like will get it and be cool. And there was this local poet who I thought was like the coolest fucking guy. Like he would be at every open mic slam poetry thing. He was like a local famous artist. He like was in bands and stuff. He was so cool. I thought he was amazing. Like the most talented person in the world.
Sure. Yeah.
Which looking back on his work, I'm like, okay. But I was like, he's a genius. And he posted on MySpace MySpace bulletin board.
Yeah.
He posted and was like, I'm looking for an electric piano. Like if anyone has electric keyboard, mine isn't working and I need one. And I happen to have one because my stepdad bought me one when I was in like 6th grade, but I'd never
You didn't
really
use it.
used it.
Okay,
Like
okay.
I preferred to play guitar. So it just sat in a corner of my closet. And so I was like, oh my gosh, actually, I do have an electric keyboard. And he was like, okay, what do you want for it? And I was like, well, I think it would be really an interesting story if you would take my virginity. And so I will trade you that for the keyboard.
Stop.
I was like, it'll be an interesting story for me. And I want a story.
Oh my God.
He was like, really? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I want an interesting story to like really lose my virginity. Even though this was like to me, like, real sex. Like I was like,
yeah.
we're going to,
This is, yeah.
And so I was like, it'll be a fun story. And you're like this cool person and you get a keyboard. And I mean, I guess the fact I was 16 probably intrigued him. He was definitely in his 20s. And like he was like, sure. He was like, why don't you just like he lived in this house with like 8 other people.
Of course he did.
Of course. And he was like, why don't you come bring the keyboard and we'll just like hang in my room. I brought the keyboard and stuff. And we like sat down, we tried and we're like kissing and stuff. And he's like, you're not getting wet. And I'm like, I was like, oh, and he's like, and I can't get hard. And he was just like, I just don't think this is working. Like, he's like, I don't know. I'm like, I can't get into it. And I was just like, oh my God, I did something wrong, blah, blah, blah.
No.
Like blaming myself.
Sure,
I'm like,
sure.
what did I like? Oh no, what did I
think
do
you're
wrong?
right,
Like,
yeah.
and like I ran and like called a friend who like consoled me at a diner, and then we actually ended up started dating. And and like consoled me at a diner and stuff. And I was just like, I don't know what I did wrong, blah, blah. And then years later, he messaged me, the guy, and he was like, I just want you to know you're beautiful. Like, I wish it had happened. But all those years ago, as this was all happening, he was ironically running for mayor of our town. He was running, like, he was an independent candidate. As I'm saying, anyone from Rockford is going to be like, I know immediately who you're talking about. He was running. He was like this ironic candidate who was like, I hate the establishment. Yeah, and he was like, he'd just be like, rent is too high. I'm just here to play jokes.
Yeah,
got like 3% of the vote. But he was like, I thought that you were like a spy and a honeypot sent by the other candidates to get me arrested, and that's why I couldn't get hard, because I thought that you were like gonna go to the police. And I thought it was like a ploy and a trap to stop my mayoral bid.
Wow.
And I was like, first of all, no one took your mayoral bid that seriously.
They were safe, babe.
And I was like, but then also you were like, this could be a trap, but let's like at least go to the part where I bring her into my home.
Yeah. Be like, they have all the pictures they need.
And then consider, I was like, buddy, I don't think like a judge would be like, oh, he only like fingered you. Like, but he couldn't get hard, so no crime committed. And then I did feel better that he was like, you're beautiful, and I regret every day that I didn't fuck you.
Oh my God. That's him. That was his move to.
Yeah. He was like, when are you going away? And I was like, he's still in our hometown, like has not changed at all. Still lives in the same house with 1 million people.
Wait, really?
100%.
Is he hot?
No. No, I mean, back then, I don't know. I was into like weird artsy people.
Totally.
Like I would just be like tattoos.
Yeah.
Oh, you listen to Fish in the Grateful. Oh, you're different.
Yeah. You're screaming profanities at a coffee shop.
He like lit himself on fire with his band one time, and I was like, yeah, he's a real fucking badass rock and roll.
Wow.
But I guess I still got a story out of it.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, and those were like my first 3 like key sexual moments.
Sure.
That, like,
the formative memories.
Yeah.
Set the tone, if you will.
Is that I was like, I guess I lost my virginity kind of twice. Weird situation.
Kind of almost 3 times.
Almost 3 times. And then,
Wow. Okay, so beyond him, this was like towards the end of high school then.
Yeah.
Did you start like dating and having sex with like randos?
Yeah. So after him, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to enter my power. Just kind of started like dating people, hooking up. Had like one kind of serious boyfriend who, was just too clingy. Broke up with him on his birthday, which was also Valentine's Day.
I broke up with someone on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. It's just, we were taking a break because I knew it was like over, and then it was his birthday. So I was like, well, I got to call and say happy birthday.
Valentine's Day.
And then he was like, well, do you want to end the break? And I was like, no. And he was
kind of, in a way.
And he was like, so you want to keep the, and I was like, yeah, I think I just want to break up. And then my senior year, I started dating a guy, and it was very intense. And like, I think our parents liked us being together. Like, I would sleep over at his house, he'd sleep at my house. And it was one of those things, like his parents would be like, you feel like you're part of the family, and like, oh, you calm him down. And looking back, it was definitely them like trying to push their responsibilities as parents on someone else. Because I would literally like drive this kid to school and do his homework.
Oh my God.
But we stayed together even when I went to college. And I went to college across the country. I was in Massachusetts. He was in Illinois. We stayed together all 4 years. And my sophomore year of college, he proposed to me. I was engaged.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I had a ring.
Oh my God.
Like everything. I was engaged for like all of college. Like everyone in college was like, oh, the girl who was engaged. Like that's how people knew me.
Wow.
Yeah. And now people are like, what?
What? Yeah.
They're like, you?
Wait, how did it end?
Like, I mean, part of why we were together is because we were on the same kind of wavelength when it came to like being queer and poly.
So wait, how long have you been poly? Was this guy the first?
This is when it started. Like we started dating, and the first 3 years we like knew we were like, we're together forever. I'm so in love. We're gonna get married.
Yeah.
And then it was like my senior year of college that we both kind of were like, well, you go to a different college. I do. I'd read all these books about polyamory, and I was like, why don't we try this? Like we trust each other and we've been together for forever. I feel like, let's do it. Like, And then we opened things up. But so we agreed, we were like talking, we were like doing our research. And we were like talking about it, but we hadn't done the official go ahead, like,
Sure.
you know,
Yeah.
flag, you know, yeah. And so I had some friends come to town, went to his campus. We like did this big trip to his campus. Then we went up to Montreal for like spring break, did a whole thing. And he was being an asshole the entire trip. Like, I didn't realize that until this trip that he had developed like a drug problem. So we go to his campus and we're like having a bonfire and I couldn't find him. I'm like looking around and I like asked one of his friends, I'm like, oh, have you seen him? And they're like, oh, yeah, he's over with the townies in the meth circle. And I'm like, what? The townies in the meth circle?
That's a lot of information.
And I'm like, first of all, why you just have a casual meth circle? And they're like, yeah. They were like, yeah. And they would said it like, he's always over there. That's like where he hangs, at the meth circle. And I go over there and I saw him using it. And I had no idea that like he used like that level of drugs and like had this level of addiction with like coke and meth. And that's what had been like causing him to get super angry. And like he got physical with me at one point and tried to like push me. And I was like, something's up. This is weird. And after this whole trip, I like take him back to his campus and I'm like, clearly we got to talk about stuff. And like we start talking. I go back to my campus and we're talking over like Skype.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so you do all these drugs. Like, what is happening? Like, what is going on with you? And that's when he's like, well, I also feel like I have to be honest with you about a few things. I know we agreed to be open and I've been sleeping with another girl. And I just didn't know how to bring it up. And I was like, well, we talked about it. We didn't, we didn't say go. Because I was like, oh, we're there to fucking people. And I was like, wait a second. Like, we didn't say that was cool yet, and he was like, well, it was so long ago that I just didn't. And I was like, I was like, I saw you last Sunday. Like, when was it? And he was like, the Thursday before that. It was like the Thursday before that.
Now, to be fair, someone on meth, that feels like a long time.
For a long time. That is true. And like then I found out he had been like buying this girl groceries with my money and like all sorts of fucked up stuff and like using my money for like meth and drugs and stuff. And so that's when I was just like, I'm done.
Wow.
And like ended it, just like fully broke up with it like 2 weeks before I graduated from college. Just fully broke up with him. And we were supposed to move in together and stuff. I was like, screw you. I'm going to like move to Chicago by myself.
Wow.
Pawned the ring he gave me and used the money to buy weed.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
'Cause it was only worth like $400.
Some cursed ass weed too, but no, know.
But I was like, I went to like one of those gold for money places and was just like, what can I get for this? And then after that, he asked me for the ring back because he wanted to give it to another girl.
Oh, babe, babe.
He was like, I want the ring. I want to give it to it. And I was like, I sold that shit and had it
gone.
melted down. And I'm doing you a favor.
I'm doing her a favor.
Yeah, I'm just like, come on. But yeah.
Wow. And then Chicago.
And then I went to Chicago. But what I will say is like that relationship, I was lucky because I did have this partner who, like me, was queer and poly and down to experiment.
Yeah.
And so I had this like 5-year period from like 19 to 22 when I think most people are having their worst sexual experiences and I was having the best.
Yeah.
Like I had someone where I was like, I can trust you to try this kink. And so that I was grateful for because that gave me like,
I was gonna say this must have given you something.
It gave me like
for you
a
to stick in it,
solid base to find myself.
I love
like
that.
Sexually and what I was into and what I liked and how I like to do things because you need a partner you trust to do that. And I think a lot of times in hookup culture or whatever, people don't have that. So it's like
I lived most of my life in hookup culture.
Yeah.
And just like clumsily looking for dicks. And,
and then being
holes.
like, oh, we kind of click on this.
Yeah, yeah.
And this was like a safe space where I could kind of be in this relationship with one person and being like, oh, I have this like kink I've always wanted to try, or like, hey, I've always thought I might like threesomes, and you're someone I trust to like be in a threesome.
embark
with me,
on that.
know. So I got to do that. So by the time I was 22 and moved to Chicago, I felt like I'd just, lived a life.
Yeah.
I was like, I've lived, I've since since the 7th grade, I've just been out here doing it up. And in Chicago, that was when I really kind of realized like I want to keep being polyamorous. I don't want to do it in a way where I have to depend on like a primary or other people. And I kind
Yeah.
of realized I was solo poly.
Wait, solo poly.
Yes.
Talk to me about that. That's what I
So-
think that I like this.
Yeah, so solo poly is just you're polyamorous, but you don't believe in the relationship elevator or hierarchy.
Okay.
So most polyamorous people will say, "This is my primary." You know, their wife, girlfriend, whatever, boyfriend, husband. You know, that's their primary.
Okay.
That's traditional polyamory. Solo poly people go, "This is a person I'm in a partnership with, but we define our relationship on our own terms."
Sure.
So, like, if you have a primary, and this is something that would happen to me a lot, like, I would be seeing a guy who had a primary, and then their primary would be like, "I don't feel good tonight," because they didn't want him to go on a date with me mostly.
Yeah.
And so then they'd be like, "Well, that's my primary, so
I
I
have to
de
cancel on you."
Yeah, cancel on you. And with like solo polyamory, you step away from that kind of hierarchy where you're like, I don't want the pressures of like, you know, a partner who I
Answering
share a
to
bank
someone.
account with,
Yeah.
that I like would have a rent with. But, you know, we have like love and we can establish a relationship, but never with like the end goal of like, we're going to get married and stuff.
Wow. Or compare ourselves to another
Or
relationship.
Yeah, or compare. Yeah. And it's like, you know, some poly people will have strict rules like you have to get my permission before you sleep with someone else. Wouldn't have to get permission. And it's more of a, if you want to hear about other people I'm saying, I'll tell you that and respect whatever boundaries or asks you have of me.
Yeah.
But if you don't,
Cool.
yeah, cool. Like, you know, and if you want to do your thing, cool.
I
You know, and if
love
you want to tell
that.
me, okay. And most people, it sounds so complicated, and then they like see it and they're like, oh, it's basically just dating. It's basically just like, because like a lot of times I'll be seeing someone and we kind of like will work through it and be like, you know what, actually what we're good as is like friends who sleep with each other sometimes.
Yeah.
Or I think the boundary of this relationship is we travel together, or if whenever I'm in Boston, like I have someone that I always see there, and it's
Sure.
like, you know, that when I'm in town, you know, we're together.
Let's go.
Yeah. So that's kind of
Interesting. For this to work, a lot of people kind of have to be down with the same, or you have to catch people when they're single.
I mean, I do date a lot of poly people who have primaries.
Okay.
So usually like they will still, you know, be regular poly or whatever they're doing, but
But the fact that you're solo makes it easier too, because you can bounce
Yeah.
around.
because I can bounce around, and then for me, I feel like it takes away some of the pressure, I guess, because I think even people in traditional polyamory always feel like, oh, this other person wants to like steal my partner. And for me, it's like, I don't want to steal
don't
your
wanna steal
partner.
partner.
I don't want like,
I don't want that. I want
Yeah, I don't
all
want
those
that.
responsibilities.
you know, that's not what I'm ever going to negotiate in a relationship with someone. And like, those aren't ever the responsibilities or expectations I'm going to want.
Yeah.
But it's still like, oh, I care about, like, if you're sick and you need something, I'll go pick it up. Like,
Yeah.
I'll do all that stuff for you. But it's like, I don't know, if your family's having a family reunion,
And
I'm
I
not
don't
going
wanna
to be
go.
like, yeah, I'm not
I'm
going to
not
be
gonna
like,
go.
oh, I need to meet your family. Like, I want to be entrenched in your
Sure.
life. You know, it's stuff like that. So, but then like if I have met people who have been like, well, I do want you to meet my family and like have that part of my life. And again, it's just like on a case by case
Yeah,
basis.
I was just gonna say, is there
Yeah.
someone that male or female or whatever that you would suspend this kind of like rule for? And like,
yeah, that's actually the other interesting part, is that solo polyamory actually I think is more flexible to periods of monogamy, because I do that a lot. Like, there are a lot of times where I will be seeing a few people and one person will be like, hey, I think I really like you, I think this could be something real, but in order to know that I like you, I have to date you like in a relationship. Like, I have to be monogamous with you. Like, that is how I experience it. And I'm cool with that. Like, I
Okay.
have done that where I've been like, you know what, I agree. Or sometimes I'm like, no. I'm glad you feel that way, but I'm
I
not.
know, yeah.
But I've had a few partners where I've been like, you know what, yeah, I do feel like this could be something really special. We should just like really focus on getting to know each other, and we'll like be monogamous. But it is always with the understanding that like I'm a poly person,
Sure.
who is monogamous with you, and then I have the expectation like we will open things up
At some point.
Yeah, at some
Okay,
point,
okay.
maybe in a different way. I don't, you know, because there's
Like
so many
threesomes or whatever.
Yeah, there's so many different ways to be poly, and I think people always see it as one way. But it's like, I've had partners where I'm monogamous for like 6 months, and then at month 7 we're like, okay, we could like open this up to threesomes, or like, okay, like let's like go on dates with other people.
Sure.
and
Or
try this.
hookups when you're out of town. Or
Yeah,
something.
like that's usually how it starts, is that I'm like, so I'm going on tour. Just horrible.
no.
I mean, it's just like
I'm
a reality.
sorry. A good
It's
hookup
just
on tour is
so bad.
I mean, oftentimes you're in a hotel, so it's
Yeah.
like fuck these sheets.
Fuck these sheets. No Che Diaz, but I mean,
Yeah,
it's
let's
like
go.
let's just talk about it's like the reality of it. If I have partners in Chicago and stuff that I see, like let's be real about it. But also I've dated people who are like, don't tell me anything about any of your other people. And it's
There's
like,
a lot of people like that. Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah.
It's like we just do our own thing, which to me, I see it. I guess I understand, and it could work. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. It's so hard now.
Yeah,
Dating in relationships is
It's also different.
It's so hard.
I've had it. Even my take, because I'm usually someone who's like, I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Sure.
I'm going to be open and honest. But I have dated people where I'm a little like, I don't need to hear that. Like, I don't want to.
that doesn't.
Yeah, like I was seeing someone who would be like, oh yeah, when you were gone, I went to the local glory hole and like did this, or like, had sex with like a strange man and a thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad you had fun,
Yeah,
but I didn't ask. Yeah, you didn't have to tell me that you had a good time, at the porno theater Thursday. Like, okay. But, okay. Yeah.
Read the room.
Yeah,
Read the
it's
room.
like, I'm glad for you, but some kinks can be your own kinks. Like, you don't. But yeah.
So what's like sex life today? Like, do you have a high sex drive? Do you participate in sex? Do you like?
Yeah. It's interesting because during quarantine, I actually didn't have sex like at all.
Yeah.
I didn't have sex for a year and a half almost.
Like period, not even with yourself?
Period. Oh no, I masturbated.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I definitely did that. I definitely masturbated, but I didn't. I just like when I came to LA, I had like a string of bad like hookups and partners. It was just very messy.
Yeah.
Like I went to intensive outpatient therapy here because I was just like,
For what? Can I ask?
yeah, I mean, it was like depression, mania. I just got in out of a really abusive relationship. Like I moved to LA with this person I'd been seeing who lived here. And my job moved me out here, and it just happened like they lived here too.
Yeah.
And when I got out here, kind of the same story. I realized they were addicted to drugs.
Wow.
And I like didn't really realize it, and I realized like they were stealing their roommates' pills and like that bad, and like lying on the internet so people would donate money to them that they would like turn around and use for drugs and stuff.
Wow.
And like I didn't realize how bad it was until it would be like the middle of the night, and he would like get up in these like Klonopin stupors and like punch my walls. And I would be like, hey, you're sleepwalking. Like, calm down. And he would like pee on my clothes in a closet, or he'd like try to hit me and punch stuff or like strangle me.
Oh my God.
And I would just be like, I don't know how to get him to stop, calm down. And it was like he was half awake, half there. Like he would be like you would think he wasn't there and was sleepwalking, but then he would be like saying things that made
And,
it
like,
clear.
looking
he,
at you?
yeah, like he straight up went like, I know this isn't a bathroom, and then pissed on my clothes.
Wow.
And then he'd be like, it was the Klonopin, I don't really remember. And it was just kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
And at that point I realized like I have to get out of this relationship. But he was like kind of a crazy person, and I was like afraid. I was like working with a therapist to be like, how do I like extricate myself?
Yeah.
And then one day I get a message from a friend, an internet friend I barely knew. And she's like, hey, I think this girl is tweeting about your boyfriend. And she sends me this tweet that's like, this girl I don't know who's like, I will never trust men again. This man I've been hooking up with just came in, was in my apartment in the middle of the night. He started strangling me and hitting me and like wouldn't like leave my apartment. I almost had to call 911. And I immediately knew it was him because I was like, yeah, he's done that to me.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized like this Twitter girl and him had been like sleeping together. He was cheating on me with this girl. And I guess her and a few friends and like other Twitter people knew, but they didn't tell me. And they also were like, but I thought like you're poly, so blah. And I was like, well, no, because he actually like wanted a very strict, because he was very controlling and mentally. So he was very like, no, we have to be monogamous. And so it was like a whole fucking mess. And I like see the tweets. I message the girl. And I'm just like, hey, no anger. Like, fine. He's a fucking asshole. Cheated on me. I don't give a shit about that part. But he's done that to me too. He is dangerous. Like he would come to my apartment and like bang on my door and stuff. And like after we broke up, like he would not stop coming to my place. He would also be so high that he would like forget we broke up.
Oh my God.
So he would keep coming to my house, and I'd be like, we broke up, like you need to leave me alone now.
What a
So,
nightmare.
yeah, so I was telling this girl all of this and like explaining to her everything, and that's when she kind of clicked, because for her, I guess at first she didn't want to say anything because she was like, I think it's just his drug problem and blah blah blah. And then once she heard my story, she was like, oh no, he's like a bad guy. She was like, oh wait, he lied, he has been, you know. And so then she like went public on Twitter and called him out, and choice to make.
Yeah.
I supported that. I like, I was also like, I stand with her. He did the same shit to me and also called him out.
Wow.
But he was very like Reddit internet podcast popular.
Oh.
Not like he had like quit stand-up comedy because he was bad at it. Another reason he was so jealous of me.
Yeah.
And so like all these people who were like his fans and weirdos from Reddit were like, we believe him, we stand by him. And he's like, oh, I didn't really hurt them. It's just I have a drug problem and I'm deeply depressed and suicidal and I need to get treatment. And he's like saying all this on Twitter, and his fans are like, oh my God, like, yeah, he needs help. He raised $8,000. $8,000. He raised $8,000
for like his mental health.
and was like, I'm going to use this to go to rehab. He took all that money and went back to his parents' house in the Caribbean. Like his parents have this like beautiful island home with like a pool and stuff. And he just took all the money and left and went there.
Wow.
And like lied to everyone, like doctored fake receipts for rehab places, doctored fake like stuff from a therapist who was like, I've never met this guy. He is not one of my patients at all. Like got all the money, and then like that's when everyone realized they had scammed him. Like he had scammed all of them, and that's when like his fans started turning on him, and they all just turned to me because it was like I was there and knew him. And so like some of them were like, well, we support Ashley, so she owes us. What? Like we supported her in these accusations, so she like owes us blah blah blah. And other people were very like, what? They're just like gawkers, like people who just wanted to like see what's going on, like oh she like he did this to her, just the drama and wanting to look at that. And it just to me felt, I just like couldn't take it. Like all these people who I did not know, like living in that social media sphere of just like, to me this is just a place where I post jokes and like content. It's like for my brand to get job. And then people being like, there were literally people I'd never spoken to who did not know me who would be like, well, let me tell you where you messed up and how this is actually your fault that you got like assaulted and raped. And
wow.
I couldn't take it. So I was very just like, I just want to step away from the internet. There were people like who I had known from like Facebook only, like never met, who like were texting me and stuff being like, well, I know you like family, so this is like actually, and I would be like, I don't know you. Just like weirdos on the internet being like, I know you and this is blah 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 and here's what you should have done. And so then I was just like, fuck this. I'm gonna go to intensive outpatient therapy, just like work on me. And, like, just like I had to like reset sort of like my whole social life,
get a little stronger, or like put up some boundaries.
And just kicking people out of my life who I kind of realized like, oh, you're just here for the drama, like, oh, you're just here for this and not because you see me as like an actual person you like support or care about. And that's, I don't, when people are like, do you love LA, like how have you done so well there? I'm like, well, here's the key. Your first year here, go to intensive outpatient therapy. It gets you right ready for LA. Like, it's true. I was in therapy from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every single day.
IOP
it's intense. And it was like, I made amazing friends in it. Like, friends that I still have. Some of them, like my best friends.
Yeah, you bond.
And, you bond. And it was like a way for us, we clicked, and it was a way for me to just like kind of cleanse everything and really like focus on like why I came to LA, what I wanted to do, who I was, what my goals were. And, because like after that, because like I'm a woman, so many people tried to like be like, oh, the only reason she has a career is because this like famous Twitter guy she dated. And I'd be like, I was working in comedy for 4 years before I even dated him. Like he was using me for my comedy career. Like, I worked at The Onion, I did all this stuff, and people were like,
nah, it's only because riding his coattails. Dude, I block my way to a better social media experience. Yeah. If someone says something shitty to me, you're gone.
You're gone.
I don't care.
And it's like, and it, he just had this like weird intense fan. I mean, Reddit people are weird. I don't get
I've
them.
never visited Reddit
Same.
really.
That's not true. I did for reality show stuff.
Sure.
When I'm like, are these two people still dating? I usually can find
And
a
they
Reddit
just
thread
have,
that's like
all the
some nerd who's like, so I studied her Instagram.
Ugh.
Yeah, but it's like those kind of people. And so I was just like getting harassed for months and just had to be like, fuck this.
Peace.
Yeah, like,
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it served you well, I guess. The intense
I
outpatient.
think so. Like, I'm glad I did it. A lot of times I'm like, that was a really great privilege that I got to do that
Yeah.
and like had the resources to be like, my day job paid for it because I had like
Wow.
health insurance.
Wow.
So
What a
Yeah,
concept.
so I literally just like my insurance paid for it and I got to go and just like, you know, do my
Focus on
DBT
you,
skills
yeah.
and focus on me and like, you know, get better at sort of communicating my thoughts and what I wanted from the world and like just kind of realizing my voice and like, you know, what I could do. And then, yeah, when I got out of that, it was kind of like, I guess, got lucky because then it was 2020 and COVID happened. And
Back in
yeah, and
intense outpatient.
I literally got out of intensive IOP like January, was back out in
yeah.
the world, and then March back
Inside.
in my home.
Yeah.
It was literally like, oh, never mind.
Like, okay.
And then right back into my house and was just like, okay, well, I'm used to this. So
Damn. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so 2 quick things left. A round of hot or not. I'm just gonna say things
Yeah.
and you tell me if you think they're hot or not. Okay, so let's start with spanking.
Hot.
Both on receiving and giving end.
I think both, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say? Do you lean towards
I think
one?
receiving is sexier.
Yeah. Getting spanked.
Getting spanked is definitely sexier.
Choking.
Hot.
Okay.
Yeah. Giving and receiving. Choking is hot. Like, why don't we talk about it more?
You know, I have some experience, but not a ton.
It's all about the skill that you like have.
how to do it.
My college had a sex club, which obviously I was the president of
Yes, you
because
were.
I was a loud bisexual, queer, polyamorous person. And like we would bring porn stars to the school to do talks, and like we brought Tristan Tormino she wrote a book on polyamory.
That's so cool.
And like we brought in this like BDSM expert who was like, this is how you properly choke someone, and like had grabs.
Can I get a volunteer?
Yeah, literally it was like she had like a mannequin and it was like, let's learn. And it was like, you want to press here on
Yeah.
the sides, not here. And it was like how to and like playfully choke someone in
Like,
a sexy way. And
disconnect
it's like
a
the
little
same.
air.
Yeah, it's like the same as like theater choking, like, you know, in a play.
Everyone's fully erect in like the crucible.
Like,
Spit.
hot.
Okay.
I actually think spit is hot.
I definitely, if it's the right,
It has to be the right person
Yes.
in moment. I've had it happen where I'm like, you didn't do it right. Not hot. Like they did like also this one person who had like the driest mouth. And I was like, honey, just like get some water. I know what you're trying to do and it's not working.
oh no,
And
like
it was
frothy.
It was like frothy and kind of phlegmy because she was really
No.
trying. And I was like, no,
No.
just don't do it.
that would pull me
Yeah.
right
And
out.
I've also had it where I'm like, this is an okay sex experience. And then it comes out of nowhere and I'm like, so hot. I'm like, okay.
Oh my God. If I'm getting fucked and a guy like
Yeah. Spit
spits,
just,
I'm like, oh.
When I, like this guy was like fucking me, stopped in the middle, spat on my pussy, and then kept fucking me. And I was like, that's fucking hot.
That's hot,
I was like,
dude.
at first I was like, what? And then I was like, no, it's hot. I was like, God damn it. He's like, needs a little spit shine for it. Keep going. And I was like, I'm into this.
Well, water sports.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes?
No, not hot.
Oh, okay.
Not hot.
Were
Sorry.
you picturing like jet skiing?
I was like thinking of spit as a water sport, and then I was like the other water.
that is an
the
interesting
other end. No, I'm so sorry. Respect to all those who do it, but
Not for you.
I'm one of those people who is like squirting is pee. Like I think squirting is pee, and
It's so interesting. I've heard this both sides. That
Yeah.
some people insist it's pee and some
It's
people
pee.
like it's not.
it's not. It's pee.
Okay.
What else is? Where's it coming from? It's pee, and like
It's coming from God.
Yeah, I don't know. Every time I dated a guy who was like, because guys are always into making women squirt.
Sure,
it's such a thing for them. And I dated
sure.
this guy who literally was like, that's my fucking thing. I got videos on my phone of me making women squirt. Yes, you can watch him this season on The Righteous Gemstones.
Is he one of the muscle guys?
Yes.
I knew it.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I won't say which one, but know that someone on that show really loves making
You
a
gotta
woman
send
squirt.
me a screen grab.
I will. But he like was so into it, and he was like, "You got to let me try." And I was like, "You know what? Fine. If you say you can make it happen, go crazy." And he was doing it, and he was like, "You just won't relax enough to make it happen. You're not relaxing enough." And I was like, "Oh, if I relax, I'll piss." I was like, "You want me to piss?" I was like, and this is when I was like, "You think you're making all these women, but they're
You're like,
pissing
relax,
on you."
and yeah.
He was like, "Just relax and it'll happen." And I was like, "No, this is the feeling of
urine.
pee." I was like, "I know what it feels."
Reticle.
Yeah. I was like, "I know what this feels like. This is not a sexual release."
It was his bed. He should have pissed all
It was
over.
a hotel.
Okay.
So I guess I could have left that on his tab. He has HBO money now. He could have afforded it.
I think I know the answer to this one, but cum.
Hot.
Yeah.
Especially on candles. Yeah.
Oh, but do you have a favorite place that you like cum?
I guess my ass, honestly.
Really, like shooting on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm kind of like, I love cum.
I know it's fun.
I'm like, it's fun. I'm like a cum slut. Let's go. Like if I'm into you, it's like a let's like rain on me. It's literally like let's roll around in it, rub ourselves like all over. Like I was about to be like if I'm getting too graphic, and then I was like
No.
Like I think it's hot to be like the little cum slut who's like, yeah, I'm going to brunch with your cum all over my tits. Like yeah, and like
yes.
you know, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm a dirty girl and nobody knows. You know, like. I'm
You
into that
like
shit.
it.
Yeah.
The dude I'm dating shoots massive loads.
Yeah.
Massive. It's like bam, bam, bam.
That's-
bam,
yeah.
bam, bam, bam.
You know, I've been with too many of these like, you know, antidepressant guys lately who
Oh, SSR. Hey,
Hey.
I went through that and I'm coming out the other end now and everything's coming back.
So I was gonna say that's like I started SSRIs during quarantine.
Same.
So that like fucked up my sex
Yeah.
drive.
Dip.
Yeah. And then I told my doctor and she was like, well, let's get you on Wellbutrin, which apparently is the horny med.
Yeah.
And I had been on it before, and yes, it just makes you 24/7 horny and wet as a woman. Like it's insane.
Wow.
Crazy.
Is that the
So-
only one you're on?
Now I'm on Lexapro and Wellbutrin now.
Okay,
But
I'm on
more
Zoloft and Wellbutrin.
Yeah, I like my Wellbutrin dose outdoes the Lexapro so much that I just am like
Yeah.
wired up on it. I
Aren't
feel.
they? I mean, they've changed my life.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like I couldn't do things, and now I'm like
Doing things.
I can do things. Like I love Wellbutrin. Like bless its little heart. It just like I had no sex drive, and now I'm just out here like slanging wet Wellbutrin pussy. And it is like I feel like it makes me think of it as a gift more because I'm like, does this person deserve Wellbutrin pussy? Because it's like very good. Like it's very good.
That is
every
so
like person I know with a
funny.
vagina on it is like it's a
it's good
slip and
pussy.
slide down there. Like you literally some months will just be like, what is happening?
I'm
Straight one time I was like, did I just start my period? And it wasn't. It was just the Wellbutrin pussy. So
Wellbutrin pussy could be another good name for the episode.
Wellbutrin pussy.
And cum candles. Okay, so the last thing is, what is like a piece of advice you'd give to little Ashley before she began her sexual journey?
Break up with him. Break up with him. Break up with
Break up with him.
Break up with him before you go to college.
Oh,
break
that
up
one.
with him.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's always my advice though, is that I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt a little too long. I like to think like, oh, I let this person in my life, so something about them has to be good.
Yes.
There has to be a goodness
Of
I can find
course.
here. And it's like more often than not when people show you who they are, believe
That's
it the
what they
first
are,
time and
yeah.
just walk away. You know, that's what I would say to little Ashley. Like
Fuck
there's
yeah.
so many people who you're going to be like, I got this vibe and I should have listened to it.
Yep.
And listen.
Oh, there's nothing like looking back and being like, I had so many.
Yeah. Like, oh, you know.
Could have saved time. Thank you for doing this. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram at the Ashley Ray. On Twitter, it's 2 E's in the because I got suspended. And so I have a new account. Or theashleyray.com. That's where I have all my shows. You can watch Alabama Jackson
Yes.
there. And yeah, and listen to my podcast, TBSA.
Yeah. Thank you for doing this.
Thanks
I
for
love
having me.
you.
This was so fun.
Yes.
It's like the best.